Welcome back to the 15 plus React.js project series. In this video, we're going to making these interactive and responsive portfolio website using React.js and the Tailwind CSS. This is the website having one logo and having some nav item just like home, services, skill, education, experiences, and the contact, having awesome hover effect, and as well as having one images, having also the hover effect, and also you can see here one typing types of animations, and we're completely building these typing types of animations using the React. Okay, and also you can see having some social icons with having some awesome hover effect and also one button that's called hire me. So we're going to making this full website using the React.js and the Tailwind CSS. So without wasting your time, har har Mahadev, bolke start karte tutorial. Before writing the code, let's try to break down this website into some kind of UI component because React is working like a component. After joining all of the component, this website is built. So what I can do is simply going to first go into making this one as a header sections, or you can say the header div, okay, or you can say header container. And inside these header sections, we have one logo. Okay, we have having one logo. Then we having some nav items just like the home. Then you have the services. Then we have the skills. Okay, then you have the educations and also experiences and the contact. So this is nothing but my nav item. And after that, we have in full div, or you can say full sections, which one is nothing but my home sections, or you can say hero sections. Inside these hero sections, what we have another div. Okay, we have another div is nothing but my div for images, or you can say the images. Okay, images sections. And after that, we have another div. This is the right side div, you can say like that. And inside this right side div, we have one h1 tag, then we have one h3 tag, then we have one paragraph. Okay, then after that, we're having some social icons. Okay, then we're having one button. Okay, we're having one button. So this is nothing but our whole web pages. If we're trying to making it out, so let's say this is nothing but my header. So we can say that this is the header. Okay, let's say header. And inside header, we're having in logo. So we can making it a let's say logo. And then we're having some nav item, like just like the home, services, skills, education, and the experience. There's nothing but my nav item. So you can say that this is the nav item. And after the instead of home sections, these are our home sections. These are our home sections, or you can see the home component. Okay, in the home component, what we have in the left side, we having one div, and inside this div, we having the images. Okay, and that's the app part. Okay, and same thing, we have another div, and inside this div, what we have the h1 tag. This is called the h1 tag. Okay, h1 tag. Then this is nothing but by h3 tag. Then this is the p tag. Okay, this is the p tag. And also try to making this another component that's called the social icons. Okay, social icons. Okay, let's try to break down. This one is another component that's called, let's say, button. Okay, that's in what we have header component, then we have the home component and the social component and also the button component. Okay, now what I can do is simply going to creating 4 component and try to break down all of the things and try to merge all of them and try to creating our React applications. Now we can go on the VS Code and try to creating our React projects and also configure our Tailwind CSS. So let's go on that. Let's create our React projects and as well as the configurations of Tailwind CSS. So for that, let's go on here and click on terminal and open the new terminal. Then type npm node package management create beat@latest. Okay, using beat, we're going to creating here our Node.js projects. Not Node.js, actually in the Node.js, we're going to creating our React.js projects. And you need to give your project name. So let's say portfolio. You can give any kind of name and enter. And then you have to select your framework that's called React, and the language is JavaScript. Now you can see here portfolio types of and folder is created. Now let's go on here and click on open folder and then select this portfolio and click on select folder. You can also change your directory using the cmd command. So let's go on here again. Let's click it across and let's go on here and open the terminal again and then type npm install, or shortcut is npmi. So let's say npmi. It will install all of the node module in your projects. So you can see one folder should be created that's called the node module, and inside that you have all of the module for the node package management. After that, we need to configure the Tailwind CSS. So for that, I have to go on website, and I link this website in the descriptions. You can see how can you shortcutly, okay, you can creating the React JS projects, okay. And you can see in the terminal, you have to copy this one. It's called having the post CSS and the auto prefixer, and also you need to configure, I mean initialize the Tailwind CSS. Now what I can do, I need to go on that, and it will taking few times, and after that I'm going to pasting here that's I copy it from the website. Well, our installation process is done. You can see here node modules, which one having all of the modules, and I'm going to pass it here. Passed. Okay. And it will also taking time because it's depend on your internet connection speed. And after that, we need to initialize our Tailwind CSS, because for the designing part, we are going to using here the Tailwind CSS. You can also use the raw CSS on your file. Okay. Now you can see it's taking just few times. Yes, it's done, and enter, and you need to initialize our Tailwind CSS. And now you need to go on here, go on the website, and I need to copy this Tailwind .config.js file inside the document. Just copy this out, and after that, if you go on that, you can see one file should be created and the command is executed. Okay, command is executed correctly, and you can see here a file is tailwind config.js. Just Control A and Control B. Okay, just passed all of the things and save it. And after the same, go again, and inside the index.css, you need to copy one thing from here, and inside that, you need to go inside the source folder. You have the index.css. Just copy all of the things, not copy, selections, select all of the things and paste it here. Okay, and same thing, go on the terminal and run npm run dap. But before that, just also remove this app.css file as well. Okay, now I need to running this application. So let's say npm run dep. Now this application is running up and down in our localhost. Now click on follow link. Now you can see just one kind of UI, which one is coming from the app.jsx. That's our app.jsx, which one is nothing but an counter applications that you can see without the UI. It was taking time because it's loading, right? Yeah, you can see here bit plus React and count 0. You can see 1, 2, 3 like for that. And this is the text, and we're also having the images of that. Now what I can do, I am simply going to removing all of the things from here. So remove all of the things from here. And after that, I am going to creating here RFC, just a shortcut RFC for creating here the React component. Okay, and now I need to giving here one component name. So if I saving this one, and if I go on here, you can see here app. Okay, you can see here the app. And if I try to change in this one, let's say hello, then you can see here the hello. Okay, now this is the app component. Okay, app.jsx. Now inside that, what I can do is simply going to creating one folder inside the source folder that's called a component, which one having all of our components. Okay, all of our components. So we already divide our components into 4 parts. So first part is called the header part. So we're going to make it, let's say header.jsx. Okay, now let's same thing RAFCE. Now it will creating one header JSX file. And same thing, we're going to creating here a new file inside the component folder that's called home.jsx, that we discuss on that, the output. Okay, and after that, what I can do is simply going to creating here the social icons, .jsx, just creating all of the component, and after that is simply going to break down that and try to add one by one. And after that, you're going to adding here the another one that's called button.jsx. Simple. Now inside the header.jsx, we already created that. Now simply for the home.jsx, RAFCE, and now same thing, it is automatically created. Again for the button, let's say RAFCE. Okay, same thing created, and as well as the social icon, we need to also create that. Okay, RAFC. Fine. Now we're simply going to join all of the component inside our app.jsx file. So what I can do is simply inside that, we're simply going to give our header. So let's say header. Okay, header means this headers. Okay, and it will automatically import it. So for that, we're to giving here import. Okay, let's say import. Okay, header. Okay, from the component header. Now if I save it and go on that, you can see the header. Now we can start our designing right now. Okay, so let's go on the header part. Let's go on the header part. This our header part. Now what I can do, we're simply going to creating one header using the header tag. So let's remove this out and let's say header. Okay, let's get the header tag, and inside the header tag what we have one icons, and after that we have one icons, and after that we have one div is containing one navbar. Okay, if I go on that just to wide, then you can see it's nothing but one navbar. So this is nothing but one href tag, a tag. Okay, and this is our nav sections. So what I can do, we simply going to actually taking this one as a component. Okay, taking this one as a simple a tag. Okay, anchor tag, and after that that's simply going to taking this one as a nav tag. Okay, so what I can do, let's go on the a. Okay, and inside this href you can giving him the hash, and in this one what I can do, you can giving him the name that's called Mishu. Okay, and let's go on that, and you can see Mishu is coming up here. Okay, and after that we're going to taking one nav tag. Okay, that's called nav tag. So here we have all of the component of the navbar. Now inside this nav tag, what we have simply our all of the components, just like the home and the services. Okay, services, skills, educations, experiences, and the contacts. So let's add one by one. So let's add it same thing a. Okay, anchor tag. You can also create here the order list and the unordered list as well. So let's give it here the same thing hashtag, and that's about home. Now let's copy one by one. Let's copy one by one and paste here. Okay, okay, now let's give it the name. So this is the home, this is the services, and after that we have the skills. Okay, that's called the skills. Okay, and then what we have the educations, and after that we have the experiences. Okay, let's get experience, and then we have the contact, right? So we have the contact. Okay, contact. Fine, now let's go on the applications, and that's our applications here. You can say Mishu, home, services, skill, education, experience, and the contacts is ready right now. Now what I can do, we simply do some designing on that. Okay, and we need to also making these header sections in the flags so that the direction should be changes, right? Now let's try to design it out, and let's giving some class name because we're going to using the Tailwind CSS, and then we need to making it fixed. Okay, need to making it fixed because it is always fixed in our website. And after that, let's giving here the some width of that. So let's give it the full width. Okay, full width, and after that let's making it flex, and then we're going to making this justify between, so that it will between them. So if I go on here, now you can see this is the Misho, and you can see home, services, skill, education, and experiences is writing now the justify between. Okay, now after that what I can do, we need to making this item should be the center, so that it will coming to the center. Now you can see it's yes always to the center because we don't give the height of that, that's why. Now let's giving some padding on that. Let's say p4. So p4 is nothing but for the padding for the all of the side, and then let's making the jetting there so that it's always top on the website. And after that we're simply going to making our bg is nothing but transparent. Okay, let's try to making this bg into, let's say, class name. Let's making the bg is, let's say, black. Let's say bg black, and as well as we're going to making this text equal to white. All of the text should be is coming up as a white. And if I go on here, you can see nothing is higher because yeah, we already actually give it a bg equal to black. Full background is black, but background don't have any height and the weight of that, so that's why it's not actually showing up. Okay, later on you actually add it here. Okay, let's try to making it is a black. Okay, and let's try to remove this right now. Okay, later on you're going to add it out. Okay, because our bg is nothing but the black. Okay, now you can see here we also having some padding on this side and also this side. Okay, now let's go on this header.jsx. Okay, let's close all of the file because it's not needed at all. How it is needed, you're going to opening this one by one. Okay, okay, fine. Now we have the header one is completed. Now let's try to giving some class name on that. Okay, let's say class name. So what I can do, let's making the text tree excel. Okay, it's quite big right now. And then what I have, we need to giving here the font extra bold. Okay, extra bold, and after the let's text should be the red because it's always red here that you see in the applications. If I see that, you can see this is nothing but the red. Okay, so what I can do now, so it's right down red, but it's not scaling up. So when the user is hover up, you need to also scaling this one. So let's say scale 110. Okay, Then after that, it will give in some transitions with the durations. So let's say transitions, and it will giving the duration, let's say 300. Okay, let's go on here. Now you can see the transitions. Okay, cool, right? Okay, so our href tag, I mean anchor tag, is ready right now. Now let's go on our navbar in our nav sections. Okay, so now let's try to creating one list. Okay, so why list, I will tell you that. Let's call nav list. Okay, because you're going to using here the react. Okay, we're going to using here the react, so we don't need to actually copy this kind of tip again and again. Okay, we can simply go into creating one list, and after that we can map through all the value from here. So let's giving here one id for that. So let's say giving an id 1, and data is nothing but first our home. Okay, we're simply going to iterate to all the value from this list. But before that, let's start to designing our navbar as well. Okay, so we can design this inside our a tag, because we need to having one deep, okay, border on that. You can see border when you actually hover up here, we also get one border, and color is also changes. So it's better we can actually first go into changing this one, and after that we're simply going to create in the nav list as well. Okay, let's create it out because we already created it out. So let's copy this out, and I'm going to pass it here for 6 times. Okay, and I'm going to changing this one. Let's say it should be the 2, it should be the services. Okay, services, and you can see services, and then this is the 3, this is the 4, this is the 5, and this is the 6. Okay, and what I can do, we can give it here the skills. Skills is on here. Then we have the education is on here. Then after that we have the experiences. Let's copy this out and paste it out here, and let's contacts, copy this out and paste it here. Later on, you're going to using this one, this map list, and try to iterate to all the value using map. Okay, let's call the mapping. Now let's try designing first the class name so that we can see that how it actually look like. Now let's give it the margin left should be 8. Okay, margin left, so that it can take in the margin from the each of the left. Okay, but it's not showing up here. If I going to giving the same name on here, then you can see one margin left side. Okay, if you see that, you can see one gap is created. Okay, now after that, what I can do, you need to giving the text. Let's say text equal to lg, text large. Okay, cool. And after that, let's giving the font is medium. So let's say font medium, and text is less white, because our background is nothing but the black. So that's why I need to making this one white. But right now background is white, so I need to making is right now black. Later I'm going to actually adding here the background, because we don't have any in our home section, we don't have any height and the width. So that's why text equal to black. And after that, when the hover text is hovered, then you're going to making text should be the red. So text should be the red 500. And also we're going to giving here on border in the bottom side, as 2, and also try to making this border equal to transparent. Okay, border transparent. And when the user hover, then after that you're going to see our border. So let's say border red 500. Okay, now you can, if I go on here, you can see here how cool is it. Okay, you can see here one also border on the sections. Okay, cool. Now what I can do, how can we iterate to value from here? So let's remove all of the things, and now inside that we're using here the JSX. Okay, JSX format. Okay, JSX element, you can say let's say nav list dot map. Okay, dot map, and inside this map, what I can do, we need to giving here one functions. Okay, let's say items. If I'm taking on items, then we're to giving on function. Let's say arrow functions, and now inside that we need to copy this line. Or cut it out, and I'm going to pass it here. Okay, pass it here. Okay, now if I go on here, and also one more thing, you need to also show the data, right? So data is coming from the item. So let's say item. Okay, item dot data. Okay, item dot data. Data is nothing but this one. Okay, now you need to also giving here one key element on that. So let's say key is equal to inside that. Okay, it should be the item dot id. Okay, so now let's save it and go on that. Now you can see here home, services, skills, educations, experience, and the contact. How cool. Okay, you can see a scaling up. Okay, how cool is it, right? Yeah, it's really cool. Okay, so our header section is done right now. Now what I can do is simply going to jump our next component, that's called the home component. Okay, that's called the home component. So for the home component, we need to actually adding our images as well. So now I'm going to put here the images inside the asset folder. Well, I passed it here in the asset folder main.jpg. So that's our images that I'm going to be using it here. So let's go on here and try to import it out. Okay, so let's import, let's say this our hero image from, okay, from, let's, it's coming from the assets. Okay, so dot asset, and then it is giving here our image name. Let's call main.jpg. Okay, fine. Because in the home sections we have the two kind of dips. If I go on that, okay, let's go on here, and then you can see this is one dip, and this is also one dip. Okay, and the full is nothing but one section. So what I can do is first you're going to taking one full sections, and inside this section we have one left dip and we have one right dip. Okay, so what I can do, let's go on here, and then let's remove it out and taking one section. So let's say section. Okay, and also we need to import it here in our app.jsx. Okay, so let's say home. Okay, that's our home, and also try to import it. Let's import, okay, import home from, and then we have the component, and this is called home. Okay, now let's save it and go on here, and let's go on here, and it should be home should be appeared, I hope so. Okay, because we don't have any text, let's say home. Okay, then you can see home, you can see the home on here. Okay, now what I can do, let's go on the app.jsx, and inside that I need to giving here bg is black. Okay, because we're going to designing our hero part, I mean our home part. Now you can see something is happening here. Okay, now let's go on the home, and inside that we have one sections, right? And these sections having one dip. So this section having one div is the left div and also one right div. Okay, this is a left div and this is the right div, and also having one sections. So inside this first div we have one images. So let's add it out. Let's say image. Okay, and inside the sources, what I can do, we need to giving here our image. So let's say this our hero image. Okay, and alter you can giving my name. So let's say Mishu. Cool, and then we have to do some designing on our images. So let's save it and first check that our image is loaded or not. Yeah, you can see here our image is loaded. Cool, but image is quite big. You need to do some changes on the images, just like the height and the width. So let's play with them. So let's say give some class name, and let's first give in the class name. Let's say rounded. Let's say rounded full. Let's try to making it rounded full, so it should be rounded. And after that, let's giving the width and the height. So let's say width of the 48, and then for the small devices, for the medium height, it should be the, let's say, weight of 64. Then for the medium devices, we're going to making this, let's say, width of 80, because we're also going to make it responsive, that's why. And for the large devices, you're going to giving him the extra sizes. Now the question is how I can actually getting the value, because designer साहब ने मुझे दिया है value. Okay, so let's say Excel. When you're designing this website in the Figma, you can get some below. If I hit and trial, you can also do the hit and trial, but it's obviously taking time because I need to hit and trial of the below from here. Okay, so you can see here it's nothing but the 400 pixels, and then you to also giving here the shadow in our images. So let's give in the some shadow. Let's say shadow LG, and when the user hover to the images, it should be a scale up. So let's scale. Let's 110, and also giving the transitions, and as well as you need to giving the duration on that. So durations, let's say 300. Okay, let's go on here. Now you can see that's our images. You can see here the transitions. Okay, transitions. Now you can see the white screen. Why? Because we don't give the height and the width of our sections. So let's give in the height. Okay, let's say class name. So what I can do first, making it flex, so that it will divide it into left side and the right side. It is the left side and the right side. Now it's divided, and after that let's making it flex call. Okay, for the small devices, and for the medium devices, what I can do is simply going to make it flex row. Okay, So see, because this Tailwind CSS is only designing for the small devices. The first thing when you're going to give an value based on the small devices or the mobile phone devices, you need to giving your property. Okay, for the middle devices, minimum height of that, you can giving it flex row. Okay, and then you're going to making if item should be the center. Okay, and the justify, and let's say justify is nothing but let's say justify center, and let's say minimum height of the screen. Okay, minimum height of the screen so that it can take in the minimum height of the screen, and giving some padding for the x-axis is letting the 6. Now you can see it's nothing but in the center side. Okay, but it's not showing up. You can see it's not showing up because if I go on that in our app.js, you can see text is black, so it should be making should be white. And now you can see here it should be showing up. Any problem? Let's go on the header and try to check in this one. Anything wrong? Yeah, its text is black, so that's why. So let's making it white. And now let's go on here and you can see home, services, skills, education, experiences, and contact, all of the things. Cool. Now let's go on the app.jsx, no, home.jsx. Okay. And now let's try to giving some uh, devices height and width. So let's say class name. Let's say for the medium devices, you're going to taking the width of 1 by 2, and as well as you're going to making it flex and justify center. Okay, justify center it out. It's not needed at all. You can give it. Okay, our image section is ready right now. Now you can see also scaling up. Scaling up. Cool. This one also. Okay. Now let's go on the right side part and then let's try to designing it out. So what I can do, we have one h1 tag, and inside this h1 tag, what we have hi. It's okay. It's Mishu, but it's Mishu is nothing but in the red color. If I go on that, and you can see it's the red color. Okay, so what I can do, you can see heights coming up here, and let's taking it inside an span tag. Let's say it's called Mishu. Okay, and now you can see it's coming up Mishu. Then what we have one moving text. We have one moving text. So let's try to add it out. So let's have s3. Okay, s3. Okay, and inside that I am going to adding here, let's say I am a. Okay, let's I am a. Then inside the span tag, what I can do, I am let's say software engineer. Okay, later on you are going to making it movable using the React animation library. Okay, I am a software engineer. Let's go on here and see. Yeah, I am a software engineer. I'm going to making the software engineers in some movable, just like the typing. But let's try to actually design our skeleton first. Then I'm going to actually creating this one. Then after that, what we have one p tag, and inside this p tag we have our text. Okay, about me. So let's copy this out from here, and I'm going to go on here. I'm going to pass it here. Okay, let's save it and go on that and see that. Okay, you can see hi Mishuda Chandis, passionate about educator. And then we have one social icons. We have some social icons and also one button. Okay, let's first try to designing it out and also the animations. And after that, we're simply going to designing our social icon as well as the button, right? Now let's try to styling this div. So what we have the class name. Okay, not like that. Class name. And then for the medium devices, we need to giving the weight and the height of that. So let's say 1 by 2. And then we're going to making this text should be the center. And also for the medium devices, text should be the left. Okay. And for the margin top 6. And for the medium devices, we're going to making this margin should be 0. Okay. Now you can see here it is coming in the center. Okay. Or also giving some margin in this side. Okay. Now, after that, what I can do, you need to designing this one. So let's try designing it all. Let's say class name equal to text for Excel. Okay, for the actually phone devices, and for the small devices, we're going to making it text. Let's say 7 Excel. Okay, and let's say making it font bold. And after that, let's giving the margin from the bottom. Let's say 4. Okay, now you can see hi, it's Mishu, and you can see here some kind of spaces. Okay. Now we need to also designing here our span tag. So what I can do, I need to giving here the class name, and let's try to making is text red 500, and then you can see it's converted into red. Okay. Now let's designing this s3 tag as well. So let's say class name, And same thing, text to Excel. And for the small devices, it should be the text. Okay, it should be the text 3XL. Okay, and then what you have, you need to giving the font semi bold. Let's say font semi bold. And after that, let's giving the margin of the bottom, let's say 4. Cool. Now let's see again. Now you can see how cool is it. Full. Okay. Now you need to also giving here the text name as a red. Okay, let's say class name text red the 500. Okay, now you can say I am a software engineer. Also, let's try to designing this one p tag as well. So let's try to designing it out. Let's say class name, and let's try to making it text small. And for the small devices, let's try to making its text should be large. Okay, and also let's giving the margin bottom should be 6, because you need to having also one social icon as well as the one button. Now let's try to making this software engineer should be the movable. So for that, we're going to using here a library that's called a React type animations. So let's go on here and go on terminal and type npm. Let's try to, okay, let's try to close it out, and let's say npm I react type animation. Okay, this is a library that you're going to using here for the animations of the React. I mean, using React. Okay, you can also do it using CSS, but it's better because you're going to using the React. So that's so it's better to create the application using the React. Okay, and let's making our server runnable. Okay, now let's study import it out. So let's import. Okay, import, and then we have the type animations. So let's say type animations. Okay, type animations from the React type animations. Now let's try to making it out inside our span tag. Okay, so let's try to format it out. Let's try to format the document. Okay, so this is the thing that we actually changing on that. So let's removing this one, because you need to also adding something on here. So inside that, what we have, you need to having this type animations. So let's call the type animation, type animations. And inside this type animations, so what I can do, we're simply going to, you can also change this like that shortcut. Okay, and inside this type animation, you're to giving one sequence. Okay, so let's giving one sequence. Okay, our sequence is nothing but let's say first sequence is nothing but called the software engineer. Okay, engineer. So it will take in the 100 millisecond. Okay, after 100 millisecond, it will changes automatically, right? And then after that, let's copy this out, and I'm going to paste it here. Okay, paste it here, and this should be the machine learning developer. So let's say machine learning developer. And after that, what we have the YouTube content creator. So let's say YouTube content creator. And after that, let's give it the full stack web developer. So let's say, okay, let's say full stack developer. Okay, full stack developer. Okay, you can, let's removing these ones. Okay, then after that, after sequencing, then so what you need to do, you need to also giving the speed of that. So let's giving the speed, let's giving the 50 as a speed. And after that, you can also do some styling on that. So let's try to give one style and try to make our font size should be, let's say, 1 rem. Okay, based on the designing. And after that, let's try to making it repeat, so that it will repeating every time, and let's say infinity. Okay, now if I try to see this one and go on that, okay, that's our application is loading. And is it okay? Let's go on here, localhost, port this one. Yeah, you can see I am a software engineer. Yeah, machine learning developer. And after that, what I have, we have the YouTube content creator. Then you have the full stack developer. Okay, and same thing to actually configure this one. Okay, yeah, our home section is also ready. Now let's try to designing our socials icon. Okay, and after the button, it's so easy to actually creating the socials icons. Okay, so for the socials icons, you're going to using here the React icons. So let's go on here and let's try to type here the React icons. Okay, that's called the React icons. Oh, okay, React icons. And you can go on this npm page, otherwise you can go on the GitHub page. Okay, so you need to also install it out. Let's go on here and I'm going to stop the server, and then I'm going to type here npm I React icons. Okay, it will install the React icons. So we need the LinkedIn. So let's say LinkedIn. Okay, and copy this out. You can see FA LinkedIn. So FA is nothing but the first tag, and also GitHub, the Twitter, and the Instagram is also appear on inside this FA tag. So what I can do, our install process should be done. So we can actually import it out. So let's say import. We are going to import here the FA LinkedIn. Okay, it's not installed yet. Oh, I hope so. The network issue. Okay, so let's say npm run dep, and then let's say it should be the okay linked. Okay, it should be, yeah, coming LinkedIn from the React icon.fa. Then also importing the FA GitHub. So you can see FA GitHub. Okay, it's called the Git. Okay, GitHub. And after that, you have the FA Twitter. So FA Twitter, then you have the FA Instagram. Oh, Instagram. Okay, cool. Now our icon is ready. Right now we can adding these socials icons inside our home section. So let's add it out. Okay, we can give it right after this. Okay, these sections we can give it here, social icons, and let's try to import it out. So let's say import the social icons. Okay, from the social icons, right? Yeah, our social icon should be coming up here. Let's go on here and check this out. Is it coming? Ajao, 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 bacha, ajao, ajao, ajao. Yeah, you can see social icons. Cool. Now let's go on here and designing this out. So what I can do is simply going to creating here one list of that, and after that we can simply going to showing it out, that just like the home screen. Okay, no, not like that, just like the neighbor. So we can simply going to creating one constant of the icons, and we're simply going to creating one list of that. So inside that you can giving the ID. Okay, as well as you can also giving the href. Okay, if you are not giving the link, so let's say href, and you can giving here, let's say www like that. You can give it here. I simply going to making it blank, and after that what I can do is simply going to give the component. So let's say, or you can say the data. So let's make it components, because this is a React components. Okay, so then you're going to giving here the FA LinkedIn. Okay, let's say LinkedIn. Okay, FA LinkedIn. Fine. And after that, let's try to copy this out. Okay, let's try to copy this out, and after that we can give it here the four things, because we have the fourth thing as well. So this is nothing but called the FA GitHub, and then we have the FA Twitter, and then we have the FA Instagram. Okay, now let's try to designing this out and try to coming up here. Okay, so we're going to taking one div, and inside this div what we have our icons. So that's icons. Okay, that's our icons, and then you're going to using the map, and inside this map what we have the icons, and as well as we can giving the index. This is the another way. Okay, without index or without id, how can you give the key? Okay, and then you have the arrow key, and inside that we need to giving one a tag. Okay, a tag, and inside the href we can giving here our href that is coming from our icon. So let's icon, that's our icon, means this icon, and using this one we're going to making it, let's say href. Okay, and then inside that what we need to giving here our icon dot component. Okay, now if I go on here, then you can see here our icon should be coming up here, just to white. Okay, href icon component, all is okay, fine. It should be coming up here. Any problem, on that? I hope so not. Okay, I need to giving one semicolon on that. Okay, any problem? So So icon.map, and inside that we have one index of the icons. Then we have this one inside sections. Okay, and let's give it here one to colon as well. And this is the icons href component GitHub. Let's save it out and go on here and see what kind of error we got. Okay, go on inspect and go on the console. So reference fa links is not defined. Okay, fa LinkedIn is not defined. Fa, okay, fa LinkedIn. Okay, that's why this kind of problem. Okay, now let's go on here and try to reload it out. Now it's gone, and now let's try to checking this out. You can see here it's coming up on here. Okay, cool, but it's not in a right direction. So what I can do, I need to change the direction on that. So we can making it flex. So let's say class name, let's make it flex, and after that justify center, and then we can giving here for the middle devices, let's make it justify start, and then we need to giving some spaces on that in the x-axis, so that it can give some spaces on that. You can see spaces on that, and after that let's giving here the margin at the bottom, let's say 6, and also for the small devices let's try to make it margin at the bottom for the 6. Okay, now it looks good. We also getting some margin bottom for the next icons. It's nothing but the button. Now we're to designing this one. Okay, let's giving some class name. So let's say class name. Okay, now inside that what I can do, I need to giving the width and the height of that. Let's say width is nothing but let's say 10, and the height say let's say 10. Oh, let's say height is 10. Here we go. Now you can see it's quite bigger, and then after that we can making it flex, and item should be the center, and then you need to making this justify should be center. You can also, you don't need to actually doing the flex because you already do the flexing on here. Okay, okay, but if you want to making it the center, you can actually do this kind of thing. And let's say giving some border, and now you can see border is coming up here, and let's try to making this border red. So let's say border red. Okay, border red, it should be the 500. Then we need to making this rounded full so that it looks the circle, but hover effect is not coming up. So let's try to add it the hover effect, and as well as let's try to making the text should be the red. Okay, that's mean this one is right now red, and after that high and we hover up here. So let's say high hover up here, then we're simply going to making our bg should be red. Okay, our background should be red, and also when the hover up here, our text should be the black. Okay, black. See what happened? If I see, you can see here when I hover up here, you can see here our text is converted to black, and also our full background is right now in the right format. Cool. Now let's try to do some shadow, giving some shadow on that. Okay, but for that you need to also giving the some transitions. So let's say giving some transitions, and after that we can adding here on shadow after hover. So let's say hover, and we can giving here the shadow, and then we can giving some custom shadow that I copied. So let's say 0 underscore 0 0 underscore 0, then underscore 15 pixel, then underscore 3 pixel, then underscore RGBA, and then it giving one color as a 255 comma 0 comma 0 comma 0.8. Okay, so if I save it out and go on here, and you can see here glue effect is not coming up here. Why? If I go on here, it should be the after the hover, the shadow. Okay, shadow is actually coming up with this color. Okay, hover, border, hover. The shadow is coming up here 0 and 0, 15 pixel, 3 pixel, and then RGBA and this color. Okay, I need to also giving here one bracket, so that's why it's not coming up here. And now if I go on here, you can see here how cool is it. Okay, okay, so that's the part of the social icon. Now let's try to designing our button. Okay, so for the button cases, what I can do is simply going to learn one technique that's called the props. Okay, so what I can do inside that, you're going to passing one props, two props. One is the text and another is the href. We also learn about that and how the props actually work. Okay, and after this deep, we simply going to taking one a tag, and simply going to making this a tag a button. Okay, so let's give it the href, which one is coming from the props, and inside that you can giving here the text that is passed to the users. Okay, and now let's try to add this button in our home section. So let's say button. Okay, let's say button, and then we're simply going to import it here. Let's try to import it. So let's say import button. Okay, button from buttons. Okay, now inside this button, what I can do, we're simply going to passing through all of the value from here, just like the text. So what you can do, you can giving here text equal to, let's give it here just like the hire me. So let's say hire me, and then for the href you can give it here any kind of link. I'm simply going to make it black. Okay, now let's go on here and try to load it out. You can say hire me, you can say hire me. Okay, now what I can do is simply going to designing our button. So let's go on here and go on the button sections and try to start the designing. So what I can do, you can giving some class name. So let's say class name. Okay, class name, and inside there let's giving the padding of the 4, and for the small devices you're going to making padding of the x-axis should be the 6, and then for the padding for the y-axis you're going to making it 2, so that it's coming up here. And also need to giving one rounded full border, so that's rounded full, and also need to giving the text should be the red 500. Now it could be the 500 as a red, and after that we can giving one border of 2 and also border of the red of the 500. So now you can see how cool is it. And after that what I can do is simply going to add some hover effect on that, and also you can giving here some font style. So let's font, we can giving here the semi bold, and then when the hover it up, then it's simply going to making this busy should be the red 500, and then when the hover up, we're simply making this text should be the black, so that it can showing up here. Because when you hover up here, if the text is should be also the red, it will not visible. And when the hover up here, you can see here our text is converted into black color. Okay, now we can actually adding here on transitions and also the hover. So what I can do, we can copy this out from here. So you can copy this out, this transitions from here. Okay, copy this out, and I can go on here, and after that I can simply going to paste it here, so that you can see this kind of effect that you can see in the social icons. Okay, now you can see here this kind of actually transitions that you can see on here. Okay, okay, so now let's try to go on here and try to checking this out in the mobile simulator. Okay, so that's the tab. Now inside this tab you can see it correctly. Okay, hi, it's Mishu, I'm a Michelin developer, and let's go on the MacBook Air and see that anything wrong. Okay, no, let's go on the again mobile simulator. You can actually installing these extensions. Okay, okay, see services experience and the contact. And if I go on the, let's say iPhone 12 Pro Max, but okay, for this one it's having some problems. Okay, no problem, we will see figure it out. And for let's say 11 Pro Max, yeah, fine, but having some problem on the textual data. Okay, okay, let's try to configuring these ones. Okay, so what I can do, we can simply going to go on here and go inside our header.jsx. Okay, and inside that what I can do, we can simply going to do some changes on that. For the mobile phone devices, we simply going to hiding this snapbird. um, Inside our header tag we can actually hide in this snap section because it's not needed. You can also do some changes on that. You can also follow my first project based on the machine learning portfolio. How I actually show up that how can you add on hamburger menu icons, and as well as you can actually showing this up. Okay, so let's give it the class name. Okay, let's give it the class name. Let's start making it hidden, and after that for the medium devices let's make it flex. Okay, okay, otherwise it should be hidden, otherwise let's make it flex. And same thing for the medium device, let's make it full, otherwise let's try to take in the width of the 1080 pixel. Okay, let's save it and go on here, and now it's loaded. Okay, for the mobile device I don't know it's working fine or not, but let's checking this out. Yeah, now you can see it's working fine. And let's see for the iPhone 12 Pro Max. I hope so it's also working fine. Yeah, fine, not so bad. Okay. And for the iPad and iPro, it's really working very fine. Yeah, you can see here it's really working very fine. Well, and now let's try to checking the home sections. Is I do any mistake or not? In the home sections, what we do, we making it flags, and after that we making it flags column, and empty flags row, and the item center, justify center, all of the things here. And devices is make to making it justify center, and for the images we making it the rounded full and the width, and for the height of the small devices and the medium devices. And for the Excel devices, you're going to making this height should be the 40 pixels, and also making the hover scale and the durations. Okay, quite good, but it's really working very fine for the tablet and the MacBook as well. Okay, so let's do removing these ones. Okay, and yeah, so that's it for today. Now that you can see here how it actually work and how it look like, then you can see. Okay, for the mobile devices, it's having some problem. Not so much, not so much, but yeah, it's really working very fine on this case. Yeah, now you can see it's working fine. Okay, the problem is actually giving some space on that. That's why it's not working. I also think that why it's not working. Yeah, now you can see it's working very, very fine. Okay. Yeah, now you can see it's still working very fine here. For the MacBook, it is so cool. Yeah, you can see here. So that's it for today now, and hope you enjoyed this full tutorial, and make sure to subscribe to our channels and follow our 15 plus React.js project series, and as well as our multiverse series as well. And thank you, and bye bye.